So in March, someone asked me about the BOC SmartSaver account in my Telegram community group of close to 20,000 members. And if you don't know what BOC stands for, it means Bank of China. It is a legitimate bank. And I know that we are all familiar with the high interest savings accounts like UOB One or OCBC 360, but no one really talks about the BOC SmartSaver account. So in today's video, let's take a closer look on this Bank of China SmartSaver account, and is it really worth putting your monies inside it? And likewise, if you have other finance questions or on your personal finance health, then join us at close to 20,000 members in the Honey Money SG Telegram group and ask your questions, and maybe one day I'll make a video out of it. Now, if we navigate to the Bank of China website, you will realize that it looks really simple, very clean. There are no fancy graphic, fancy user interface. So it's really all about the raw cost, okay, the raw benefits. And here is the BOC SmartSaver giving you up to 7% per annum as the advertisement banner shows. Of course, we will break down the terms and conditions very clearly in this video, but do note that up to 7% per annum is on your first $100,000, and subsequently on those balances above $100,000, you can get up to 1% per annum up till your first 1 million Singapore dollars. And there is a base interest for SmartSaver at 0.4% per annum, and this is applicable on the entire account balance, which is quite good already, right? 0.4%. Do you know how much traditional bank interests are paying or not? I think less than 0.1%. But that's not the point of today's video. Today's video is to really share about the bonus interest categories, which we'll take a look right now, because starting with the wealth bonus interest is giving 2.4% per annum for 12 months, and wealth bonus seems like an insurance product, which means that you will have to purchase insurance plans with BOC. And usually for this kind of insurance purchase criteria, I will skip over it because it's not applicable to everyone. But if it's applicable to you, then you know you can get 2.4% per annum for 12 months. But that's only if you need that insurance. Don't just purchase that insurance just because you want this additional 2.4% per annum. It doesn't make sense at all. Always assess your own personal finance needs before you commit to a financial product. Now let's move on to number 2, card spend bonus interest, which I think is of interest to some of you because it is not limited to any BOC credit card or even debit card. Okay, all forms of BOC cards can be used, whether they are debit or credit. And with a minimum of $500 spending up to $1,500 spending, you can get an additional 0.5% per annum. Whereas if you spend above 1.5K, you can get 0.8% per annum. Do know that only retail transactions with posting date within the calendar month then will be considered. So you need to make sure that your transactions are posted on time. Very important. Now, what credit card should you use with the BOC SmartSaver? I'll talk about them later. Okay, let's finish the terms and conditions first. Number 3, salary credit. So I think this is a very common criteria across high interest savings account. And for BOC SmartSaver, this criteria will be at least 2,000 Singapore dollars and above, which will give you 2.5% per annum. So $2,000 is the net salary credit, which means your gross salary before the CPF contribution should be at least 2.5K. Which makes total sense because you will need to have an annual salary of 30K to qualify for a credit card. So that means your monthly salary is at least 2.5K, hopefully. But do know that this 2K salary credit criteria is higher than both UOB One and OCBC 360. UOB One is 1.6K, OCBC is 1.8K, and only genuine employment salaries credited via GIRO can qualify with the transaction description IBG Sala or Sala printed on the monthly statement within a calendar month. So it is very clear, you need to have this transaction description. Criteria number 4, payment bonus interest, where you can make 3 bill payments and get 0.90% per annum of interest. Now, each bill payment should be at least 30 Singapore dollars each via GIRO or internet banking or mobile banking bill payment function. Okay, so the good news is you don't have to depend on GIRO. You can just use a BOC website or mobile app to make your bill payments, and at least $30 multiplied by 3 bills, then you will qualify for this 0.90%. I think it's quite an easy criteria. Just pay credit card bills and you will be done. Lastly is the extra savings interest, where you can get an additional 0.6% per annum interest, but it's only applicable to those balances above 100K. So I felt that the sweet spot is still 100k for BOC SmartSaver. So this criteria, I think, not very relevant. So let's take a realistic example about myself if I were to use this BOC SmartSaver account. Firstly, on the 0.4% base interest, this is a given. I don't need to fulfill any criteria. Number two, I will fulfill is the card spend criteria, which is 0.5%. I will just hit the 500 to 1,500 spending tier. And then next up is the salary credit, because I will credit my salary minimum of 2,000 Singapore dollars to get the additional 2.5% per annum. And then next one is the payment bonus, where 0.9% per annum, I just need to pay 3 bills. Okay, make sure they're at least $30 each. Okay, so the total interest add up, the base interest plus the bonus interest, everything add up together, it will be 4.3% per annum for my first $100,000 inside the BOC SmartSaver account, which to me is pretty good. As long as it is above 4%, I think it can beat a lot of these low risk products. And you must remember that this is SDIC guaranteed, SDIC insured, because bank accounts, SDIC insurance is up to $100,000. So it's not some funny financial investment account. The only more difficult thing is that you have to fulfill the terms and conditions, which some people may not favor it. But if you were to ask me, what is my preferred credit card to pair with the BOC SmartSaver account, I would say it's the BOC Family Card. So let's take a look at BOC Family Card. What does it give you? This card have a minimum spend criteria of $800 and is fundamentally a cashback card. So it gives cashback for dining, for movies, for family club, public transport, supermarket, online purchases, and hospital, capped at $25 per category. And some of these categories are lumped together. So if they are lumped together, this entire section only has a cashback cap of $25. Then if you were to ask me which category would I prioritize my spend on, I just take a look at it and then I went over to CardUp and search, and apparently BOC Family is eligible for CardUp for cashback. So at 3% cashback, your spend will be around $800+, which meets the minimum spend for BOC Family, as well as hitting the credit card spend criteria for SmartSaver account. So it works. So that's my very short review of the BOC SmartSaver. And if you watch it until now, which means it is quite interesting to you, right? But the sad thing is I got no referral benefits for you. If you sign up, I also get nothing. So the only way, if you appreciate my sharing, is that you click on this interactive brokers thing. Because once you have clicked on the link and discover the wonders of interactive brokers, they will pay me a commission for every click. Yeah, so that's all I ask for, because there is no benefits for referring BOC SmartSaver account or the BOC Family credit card. So if you click on this link, thank you very much for your support. And moving on, let's compare between the BOC SmartSaver account versus our existing competitors, the OCBC 360 and the UOB One account. How does it fare? Hiya, I'm back in my kampong now because I have to announce that OCBC 360 is no longer 4.65% with effect from 1st of May 2025. So whatever comparisons that I'm doing later is only valid until 30th of April. So I know that the new effective interest rate of 3.3% is not going to be very attractive. So all these comparisons, take note, is going to change. OCBC 360 account is going to get nerfed. And that is very sad because it will just be 3.3%. It's a very low rate. It's pathetic. Yeah, so let's move on. Number one, for OCBC 360, you can get 4.65% per annum effective interest when you fulfill the salary credit, the save, and the spend criteria. Now, most people will not have issues with the salary credit and the spend $500 on selected OCBC credit cards criteria, but many people will have problems with the save criteria because you will need an incremental of $500 every month. And even though I already provided this spreadsheet where you can put in your numbers and make sure you hit a $500 spend every month, and this is available on my coffee shop for download, then some people are still not comfortable with this, because at one point in time, you will need to reset this status, and you can do it with the Ding Dong strategy with HSBC Everyday Global account or other high interest savings account, but you will need to do it at least once. So some people really do not like the save criteria for OCBC 360, and I fully understand, but I personally felt that 4.65% per annum using OCBC 360 is still better than the BOC SmartSaver at 4.30% per annum. So my pick is still OCBC 360 account over BOC SmartSaver if your cash savings is around $100,000. Now above $100,000, it is slightly different already, because BOC SmartSaver only effective for the first 100,000, right? Above 100,000, you get like the more pathetic interest rate. So we need to look at UOB One account. Now UOB One account, the effective interest rate is 4% per annum up to your first 150,000, when you fulfill the salary credit and the credit card spend criteria. Sorry, not just UOB credit cards, but debit cards are also included. Now, the beauty of UOB One account not only is because of the 4% on 150k, but occasionally or quarterly, you may also participate in their quarterly savings promotion, which could bump your interest by close to 1% per annum. That is if you fulfill the funding and holding requirements in terms of fresh funds against your monthly average balance. For that promotion, always refer to the latest terms and conditions, because those terms and conditions will change quarterly and you need to keep up to date by joining my Telegram. So effectively, it's like 4%, add a 1%, usually at least 5% per annum for UOB One if you participate in the quarterly savings promotion at 150k. Therefore, if you were to ask my ranking, I would say if you have just 100k, my first priority is still OCBC 360 account. This is what I'm still using as my, my SDIC bank account. Then if you have $150,000 of savings, you may go for the UOB One account at 4% effective interest rate plus the quarterly savings promotion. Get an additional 1% if you fulfill the terms and conditions. Now, what if you have higher balances in cash? Then this is where BOC may come in, but not yet. At $250,000, I will still pick OCBC 100k plus UOB 150k, total 250k. And this is when I've maxed out both accounts, right? 250,000 of cash, a lot already, But hang on, if you have more than 250,000, let's say you have 350,000, you have this additional $100,000, don't know where to put it, then you can consider BOC SmartSaver and fulfill the terms and conditions, get 4.3% per annum. Not too difficult, but the condition is that you are able to split your salary credit, because now you're splitting your salary all over. Make sure it works for your HR and your company to credit your salary like that. So as interest rates are coming down, it's becoming more and more difficult to get all these good deals, on high interest savings account, unlike in the late 2022. And I do hope that this has been a group review of the BOC SmartSaver. Hopefully with my explanation, it can help you better decide which is the best high interest savings account for your own personal finance situation. Remember, if you want to support the channel for free, you can click on this interactive brokers link. And if you want to check out my personal cash strategy for second quarter 2025, then you can check out this video right here.